you for that introduction, Abdul. And as Abdul said, my name is Natasha Jones. I am a legal advisor at CS Global Partners. And today my presentation is called Business, Security and Legacy, Opportunity Awaits MENA with Second Citizenship. And in this presentation, I hope to give you an overview of the many benefits that MENA investors can derive from a second citizenship. And this presentation will focus specifically on citizenship by investment in the Caribbean. So I'd first like to start by just defining what second citizenship is. Now, a person that holds second citizenship is often called a dual citizen, and a dual citizen is somebody who is recognised as a citizen of two or more countries at the same time. And because of this, dual citizens have the right to live, work, study, possess property, and access social services, including basic education and healthcare in more than one country. And for this reason, a second citizenship is often described as an insurance policy or a plan B in times of need. And there are a multitude of benefits for investors looking to obtain a second citizenship. And I have grouped these into three broad categories, the first of which is business opportunities. A second citizenship can allow investors access to new industries and platforms, and it can allow investors access to countries with business-friendly environments whose governments encourage entrepreneurship and implement a range of incentives across a variety of sectors. Second citizenship can also give access to more countries on a visa-free or visa on arrival basis, helping investors to increase their global mobility and expand their business opportunities across horizons. And it also allows greater capacity for short notice travel with less bureaucracy in filing visa applications. So in terms of the second group of benefits, security. Investors can benefit from a second citizenship if they come from a country that is subject to economic uncertainty, as a second citizenship can give them access to a country that is free from economic strife and that is focused on sustainable growth and development. Investors who come from countries that are subject to socio-political uncertainty can also benefit from a second citizenship, because a second citizenship can give them access to a country free from social unrest that is subject to a stable democracy and governed by the rule of law. And finally, a second citizenship can improve an investor's quality of life because they gain access to a country, for example, with a robust unencumbered healthcare system. And then for the last group of benefits, I have chosen legacy. And this is because, as well as obtaining a second citizenship for oneself, an investor can obtain a second citizenship for their whole family. And this facilitates family reunification, which I think is particularly important in these times, as worldwide travel restrictions have caused us to be able to not to be able to see our loved ones as quickly as we would like to. And the great thing about a second citizenship is that in most cases, citizenship can be passed down to one's descendants, meaning that you can secure the future of your family for generations to come. So now that we've discussed what second citizenship is and what the many benefits of second citizenship are, how do you obtain a second citizenship? Well, one way to do so is through citizenship by investment, or CBI. And if you do hear me refer to CBI throughout this presentation, then just know that I'm talking about citizenship by investment. So what is CBI? Well, CBI is a legal process through which an eligible, reputable investor can obtain citizenship of a nation in return for the making of a significant investment in that nation. And the great thing about CBI is that it provides a win-win solution, both for the investors who gain access to a number of benefits, but also to the governments who implement these citizenship by investment programs, as they can receive valuable foreign direct investment that allows them to drive the socio-economic development of their own countries through enhanced public sector and private sector spending. Now, because of the many benefits of CBI, CBI is now a global phenomenon, and it spans the Caribbean, Europe, the Middle East, and even Oceania. But we like to say that the beating heart of CBI remains firmly in the Caribbean. And why is that? Well, firstly, citizenship by investment was born in the Caribbean with the St. Christopher and Nevis Citizenship Act of 1984. Shortly after St. Kitts and Nevis obtained independence from the UK, they actually made provision for the world's first citizenship by investment program in that act. And because of this, the Caribbean is now home to two of the world's most long-standing CBI programs, And this longevity is a great asset to the Caribbean because it means that Caribbean nations are industry thought leaders, spearheading industry best practice, and that they're able to adapt very quickly to meet the needs of investors. So because of their longevity, because of their ability to adapt, and because of their fine-tuned processes, Caribbean CBI programs have received a number of accolades over their years of operation, including by the CBI Index, which is a publication by the Financial Times. And the CBI Index has ranked the 5 Caribbean CBI programs in the world's top 5 CBI programs for 5 consecutive years. So that is a great achievement for the Caribbean CBI programs, and it really is an attestation to how much these programs are valued by investors. So out of the 5 Caribbean nations that offer citizenship by investment, namely Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, Grenada, St. Kitts and Nevis, and St. Lucia, the CBI programs of Dominica and St. Kitts and Nevis, we find at CS Global Partners, are the most popular. And this can be evidenced by statistics. So for example, in Dominica, over 2,000 citizenships were awarded to reputable investors under the program in just the financial year 2019-2020. And in St. Kitts and Nevis, over 16,000 citizenships were awarded under the program from inception to 2018. So from here on in, this presentation will focus specifically on the CBI programs of Dominica and St. Kitts and Nevis, starting with Dominica. So under the Dominica Citizenship by Investment Program, applicants have 2 investment options available to them. The first one is a donation to the government's Economic Diversification Fund, and the second is an investment in pre-approved real estate. So this slide just gives an overview of the minimum investment thresholds under both of those options. So starting with the Economic Diversification Fund option, under this option, as you can see, a single applicant can obtain citizenship for a contribution of $100,000, and this amount increases as dependents are added to an application. So for example, as you can see, if a single applicant was then to add a spouse and a sibling aged 18 to 25, you'd be looking at an additional $50,000 contribution. Any other dependent, you'd be looking at an additional $25,000 contribution. And Dominica also implements a bulk discount amount for a family of 4 consisting of a main applicant, spouse, and 2 dependents, excluding siblings. And that bulk discount amount amounts to $175,000. So moving on to the second option, the pre-approved real estate option. Under this option, an investor can make an independent investment of a minimum of $200,000 in pre-approved real estate, and that real estate must be held for either 3 or 5 years, depending on who the purchaser is. Under the real estate option, in addition to that minimum investment amount, government fees are also charged, and those fees start at $25,000 for a single applicant, and again increase as family members are added to an application. So as you can see, a main applicant and spouse, you'd be looking at a $35,000 US dollar government fee, all the way down to a family of 7 or more persons, where you'd be looking at a $70,000 US government fee. So what makes the Dominica Citizenship by Investment Program stand out? Well, first and foremost, the Dominica CBI program has been ranked as the best CBI program in the world.
من أفضل 5 برامج في عن طريق تم تقييمها في 2021. مؤشر الاستثمار الجنسية بالاستثمار في 2021 تم تقييم الاستثمار في الكاريبيين عن أعلى. تم تأسيسها 1992 والنظام بتاع الكاريبيين من أكثر أنظمة عرفت.
The Dominica CBI program is one of the most affordable CBI programs in the world for single applicants who, as we saw, can obtain citizenship for a $100,000 contribution to the government's Economic Diversification Fund. So that's a huge asset to the Dominica CBI program. Another great thing about the program is that there are no residence or travel requirements implemented on applicants, whether before, during, or after the process. There are also no mandatory interview requirements, no language tests, and no business experience requirements. So this is another great asset for time-poor investors. And finally, the Dominica CBI programme is known for its multi-layered system of due diligence, which helps to ensure that applicants of only the highest repute can obtain citizenship under the programme. Now, this is so important because it shows investors that Dominica values the safety and security of their native citizens. They value the security of partner nations by protecting international open borders and making sure that illicit actors cannot use the programme to gain access to other countries. And this multi-layered system of due diligence includes a number of entities, including authorised agents, citizenship by investment unit staff, external due diligence firms, and regional law enforcement entities too, which in turn make use of Interpol and partner governments. So it's a very robust process. So now that we've spoken a bit about the benefits of the Dominica CBI programme, I always find it's best to illustrate the benefits with a case study. So take, for instance, this example of an ambitious businessman who is seeking to expand his business opportunities and tap into global markets. Well, he's chosen to do this by applying to the Dominica CBI programme. Now, under the Dominica CBI programme, successful applicants usually receive approvals after passing due diligence within 3 months of submission of an application. So after passing the due diligence, within 3 months, he receives an approval. He makes his $100,000 contribution. The funds are cleared by the bank, and he now obtains Dominican citizenship. He will now benefit from several advantages. The first one of which is the ability to pass his Dominican citizenship to future generations if he should go on to get married or have children. He also benefits from visa-free or visa on arrival travel to over 140 destinations, including several business hubs. He'll benefit from preferential access to certain markets due to the economic partnership agreement between CARICOM and the EU. He will also benefit from the fact that Dominica's local currency, the Eastern Caribbean dollar, is pegged to the US dollar, which means that it isn't subject to intense currency fluctuations. And should he choose to relocate to Dominica, he benefits from life in a politically stable, secure country. If he chooses to become a tax resident, he will benefit from no capital gains, net wealth, or estate tax. And he also benefits from free movement of profit and dividends. So that's the Dominica CBI programme. Moving on to the St. Kitts and Nevis CBI programme, unlike Dominica, St. Kitts and Nevis has 4 investment options for applicants. The first one of which is a contribution to the government's Sustainable Growth Fund. The second is an investment in pre-approved real estate. And the last 2 options, the private home option and the alternative investment option, are 2 of the newest options available in St. Kitts and Nevis. And because they are so new, not a lot of information is actually available about these 2 options, but we are expecting more information to become available in the coming months. So moving on to the first investment option, the Sustainable Growth Fund. This is the option that we find at CS Global Partners is the most popular with potential applicants. And why is that? Well, the Sustainable Growth Fund usually offers a faster route to citizenship. It's the most affordable route to citizenship.
أكثر سريع وأسرع طريق.
Which means there's a lot less bureaucracy involved. For example,
أقل البيروقراطية فيه أقل وأسرع من أسرع إجراءات اللي بتحصل.
And the funds that enter the Sustainable Growth Fund are used to directly benefit citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis through investments.
واللي بيدخلوا البرنامج ده بيستفيدوا بالجنسية والاستثمار اللي بيعملوه. أول خيار عندنا لو أنت متقدم فارد.
Under the Sustainable Growth Fund implemented by the government. And this limited time offer allows a family of up to 4 persons to obtain citizenship at the same cost as a single applicant, so $150,000. Usually, without the limited time offer, a typical family of 4 would be expected to contribute $195,000. So this represents about a $45,000 discount, and that limited time offer is running until the 31st of December 2021. So moving on to the next options then. The first of which is the pre-approved real estate option. Now, under this option, investors can choose to make an independent investment, in which case they must invest $400,000 in real estate and hold that real estate for a minimum of 5 years. Or investors can choose to make a joint investment in real estate, with each investor contributing $200,000 investment, and that pre-approved real estate must be held for a minimum of 7 years. In the private home option, investors can purchase a private home for a minimum of $400,000, and that must be held for a minimum of 5 years. And then in the alternative investment option, investors can invest in an approved infrastructural project or other approved development project. And the investment amount under this option depends on whether the project is eventually privately owned or eventually state owned. So if it is eventually private owned, as you can see on the slide, you'd be looking at an investment amount of $200,000. If it is eventually state owned, you'd be looking at an investment amount of $175,000. And government fees apply to all of these options. The same government fees apply to the pre-approved real estate option, the private home option, and the alternative investment option if the project is eventually privately owned. And these start at $35,000 for the main applicant, and again, increase as family members are added. And then if the alternative investment option project is eventually state owned, then the government fees start at $50,000 for a family of up to 4 people. So what makes the St. Kitts and Nevis CBI programme stand out? Well, first and foremost, it was the world's first citizenship by investment programme. Having been established in 1984, it is now known as the platinum standard of citizenship by investment. And this is because countless CBI programmes have now based their own programmes upon the St. Kitts and Nevis model. The St. Kitts and Nevis CBI programme in 2021 was also ranked as the best CBI programme in the world, joint with Dominica, which of course is a great accolade for the programme. And the reason it does score so highly in the 2021 CBI index is because St. Kitts and Nevis is actually the fastest citizenship by investment jurisdiction, because it's the only CBI programme in the world to offer a guaranteed accelerated application process, which allows successful applicants who successfully pass due diligence to obtain citizenship in as little as 60 days. So that is another great asset to the St. Kitts and Nevis CBI programme. Again, like Dominica, there are no residence, travel, mandatory interview requirements, language tests, or business experience requirements. And St. Kitts and Nevis implements the same multi-layered system of due diligence that is so valuable both to the industry and to investors themselves. So moving on to a case study about St. Kitts and Nevis. In this example, we have a family of 4 looking to facilitate family reunification, and they want to opt for a quick process. They apply to the St. Kitts and Nevis CBI programme and they opt for the accelerated application process. And after successfully passing due diligence, they are able to obtain citizenship of St. Kitts and Nevis within 60 days, after making a contribution of $150,000 using the limited time offer under the Sustainable Growth Fund. They now enjoy several benefits with St. Kitts and Nevis citizenship, including, firstly, the ability to pass on that citizenship to future generations, visa-free travel to over 155 destinations, including several business hubs. They gain access to a country with a robust healthcare system that continuously innovates, using funds from the Citizenship by Investment Programme, specifically from the Sustainable Growth Fund. And their children can gain access to top universities in St. Kitts and Nevis, many of which have a reputation for focusing on the medical sciences. And as Commonwealth citizens, they now have eligibility for Commonwealth scholarships in the UK if their children choose to study abroad. And if they were to relocate to St. Kitts and Nevis, they would also benefit from life in a politically stable, secure country, should they choose to relocate, of course. So now that we know a bit more about the Dominica and St. Kitts and Nevis CBI programmes, how does one go about applying to those programmes? Well, the good news is that applications have to be submitted through an authorised agent, and this means that the process is very streamlined. There's somebody there to guide you through each step of the process. And so at CS Global Partners, we work with potential clients to help them choose a programme that is best suited to their needs based on what they want to get out of their second citizenship. And once they've been pre-approved, we help them prepare and submit their application, ensuring that they're provided with guidance through every step of the process. Now, upon submission of the application, this is
أول ما تقدم العرض
including authorized agents, the Citizenship by Investment Unit staff, and the external due diligence firms, as already discussed. And if applicants are successful and no problems come up during the due diligence process, this usually takes around 3 months.
العملية بتاخد 3 شهور، وأول ما يتم القبول هتلاقي خطاب بيوصل ليك بيقول لك أنت تم قبولك اعتمادا على الخيارات. ممكن يبقى تستثمر في حاجة خاصة بالحكومة أو العقارات أو خيارات أخرى موجودة. بعد ما يتم الاستثمار البنوك تتم انتظار
declaring them a citizen of the relevant nation. Now, this is where the citizenship by investment process ends. However, if applicants are interested in obtaining a passport, CS Global Partners can also help applicants to apply for their passport, and they will send that passport to you once it is received. And so that is the application process in a nutshell. So as I come to the end of my presentation, I'd just like to give a little bit more info about CS Global Partners. As you know, we are a legal and marketing consultancy firm, and we promote citizenship by investment and help individuals to guide them through the citizenship by investment process and make sure they find the second citizenship solution that is right for them. And at CS Global Partners, we do this by focusing on the programs that we believe bring win-win solutions to investors and governments. We are a company that is headquartered in London. I myself am a representative of the London office, but we also have offices spanning the Middle East, Africa, and Asia. And so if you are looking to expand your business horizons, improve your personal and professional security, and safeguard the future of your family, then we do recommend that you contact CS Global Partners. And you can use the contact information on this final slide. Here you can see our website, our Facebook page, info@csglobalpartners.com, which is our email service, and our LinkedIn page if you would like to get to know a bit more about the company. But that does bring me to the end of my presentation. I do hope it was informative, and I hope it gave you an overview of the many benefits that MENA investors can derive from a second citizenship, particularly as it pertains to the Dominica and St. Kitts and Nevis citizenship by investment programs.